Alright lads, so today over on Brazos we're jumping back into Limit Breaker Quest because this time around it's been reset and we have more orbs and transcendence points to gather today. But unlike the previous Limit Breaker Quest that we did have, this time around it's the more difficult one. So previously you only had 2 minutes. All you had to do was get to stage 16 to get all the rewards. This is our more traditional Limit Breaker Quest, and with that we can get our normal amount of rewards, so 50 spirit orbs and also around 600,000 transcendence points if you do make it all the way to stage 22. And the team that we are rocking today is going to be very similar to the previous team that we did use. I'm pretty sure last time around we were using Giselle and also Toshiro. They are, after all, the best characters in slot 1 and 2. But this time around, since it's going to be more difficult, you know, we really can't use any character we want to if we want to make it as far as we can. Last time around, we were using Fullbring Ichigo, the end-of-year 1000-year Blood War version, to get that recharge in between stages. But since we are now up against Technic Holos, we're then opting to use a Mugetsu, who is currently available right now in a 100 million download celebration Bravefest banner. I do not recommend summoning on that, by the way. But the way we are going to build our characters is going to be very similar across the board. We're giving our characters much strong attack damage and also spiritual pressure as possible, while also giving as much recharge, full stamina, and strong attack damage as possible. In which actually we can make our links a bit better. Let's use Fifth Annie Ichigo instead. Every character is going to be rocking full stamina and also spiritual pressure as bonus abilities. Only if, to be fair, if the character has Long Stride built in. If they don't, we're going to use Long Stride as bonus abilities instead, which I believe we only really do for Giselle. Speaking of Giselle, we're going with the same build here. As much spiritual pressure, strong attack damage, and also full stamina damage as possible. My Giselle is 5/5, so we're going to do 2 runs. The first one is Giselle at basically 1 out of 5, only level 10 SP from the 6th slot. But our second run, we're going to try out Giselle Max Transcendence to see how she really does perform. And remember, with Dominate as a status woman, this is where we really get to see it shine, because the enemies, the poised enemies, are going to do a lot of damage to each other. And then yeah, Toshiro, basically same exact build, with, again, very similar soul traits. Alright then, so let's see how this does go. So I believe the positioning for the enemies are going to be very similar. Quite a big map for stage number 1 on Giselle's behalf. Unfortunately, messing up already with the strong attacks. Because remember, this time around, we do want to... You know, we don't want to make any mistakes with the strong attacks that we do have, you know. Because before we were able to spam any strong attack we could. This time around, like now, for example, we are going to have to wait if we don't, you know, use the strong attacks to the best optimization. Now, this stage is quite big. 3 strong attacks are to be used there, but that's not too bad. Make sure we don't take any damage. Luckily, the SA3 took them out. Not quite good for the next strong attack, but they go down there. Going into our first poised enemy stage. Here we go. So hopefully we get that status proc right away. It's a bit awkward not knowing where the enemies are or who is and isn't inflicted with Dominate. But you can see there they are doing pretty good damage to themselves. And in this case, 700k on the first poised enemy stage. 700k is kind of crazy. Now, these poised enemies also shouldn't be much of an issue, because we should be able to inflict our freeze. But probably though, we just want to inflict the freeze when they're all together. And unfortunately, because one of them can like sprint off with a lunge, it can get a bit awkward if you get unlucky with RNG. Let's use the SA1, preferably before the status element wears off. SA2. Now, Mugetsu, to be fair, is relatively fine. These enemies aren't too bad, but in a way, compared to newer characters nowadays, despite Mugetsu still being an amazing character, the lack of debilitator is definitely more noticeable nowadays, right? Because all these characters here have like Poise Break, or they have a way to stop the enemy in place. Mugetsu only has Weakening, and it only lasts like a second. So we have to wait for our strong attacks to come back, but we have good time right now. We have 3 minutes to go. Already kind of deep into our second rotation. Now, can we kill with the SA2? We can, but unfortunately, not quite enough to get the next wave. I'm going to make sure, again, no one takes any damage here, because these enemies do have... Or also, we have no full stamina. That was a very bad run of us not using our strong attacks optimally. Ooh. Is the run over? Did I just jinx it? We have no way to get back up to full stamina, right? We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. We will keep it going. Now, we do have an EX skill, which I'm not sure when I want to use, but right now you can see here they're doing millions of damage to each other, and they all have like the big AoE attack where it does a lot of attacks or a lot of damage if they are close up. Like 1 million damage there is crazy. This run is terrible. How am I messing up? I'm too accustomed to having the recharge in between stages that we had with Ichigo last time. I mean, I guess I'll go for now just to get into 25. If we can do that, that's great. But a team like this might be able to get into 30, especially with Giselle max transcended. But we're definitely noticing the lack of full stamina damage here at this point. Okay, I want to make sure all the enemies are together. That way, when we do use a strong attack, everyone's getting hit by the same attack, you know? So SA1 downwards. We would have been long gone out of this stage already had we not taken any damage. Okay, there we go. Next up is Mugetsu. This is quite the big stage, to be honest. At this point, all we can do is just wait. SA1. Didn't even kill a wave. Ooh. That's not so good. Sometimes, honestly, having a character with, like, a way to heal your team is never a bad thing in situations like this. Like, I know it's a skill issue, just don't take damage. But sometimes you take damage, you know? And I could have just restarted the run, but I didn't want to waste, like, 2 minutes of the time that we had going, you know? At this point, we might as well maybe use our strong attack here. But wait, are these the poison enemies? They are. Let's wait for our SP boost to come away. Use it now, I guess. We do apply weakened defense. Uh-oh. Okay. SA1. Into the 2. Giselle's going to be our last hope here. Into the next stage. 28 seconds left. We barely got the main rewards. I think you only want to get to, like, stage 18, to be fair. I mean, you do want to get to 22 to get all the rewards, but before it used to be 20, I'm pretty sure. After that, you're only missing out, like, 30,000 transcendence points. Not that big of a deal, right? Which, in a way, we technically almost did. SA3, that one-shots. Can Giselle clear fast enough? I don't think so. Almost, though, because we'll kill with the... We would have killed with the EX skill. So even in a bad run like that, granted, we are using the best team, right? This is the team that you want to use to get as far as you possibly can, given the rules of this Limit Breaker quest. Even though, of course, we do have some good transcended links. I have good accessories, right? Not everyone's going to have 5-star plus accessories. At least not right now if you're somewhere in the mid-game early player, right? But this is basically just a 1 out of 5 team, right? No duplicates are invested into any of these characters besides Giselle, but we did remove Giselle's transcendence. And even with that, we were still able to almost get all the rewards, 21, even though we did take damage and it was basically a ruined run halfway into the quest. So what I need to do is just play a bit passive. I don't need to be as aggressive as I am really. Just wait for the strong attacks to come. Oh, okay, never mind. Let's try that again. Like I said, let's not be too aggressive. At least going into a new stage if I have no strong attacks ready. Can we kill that with the SA1? Yes, we can. I don't think we're going to be able to do that every time we go into that room. At least with a 1 out of 5 torch, but who knows? Maybe we can. So SA1 into the 2 into the 1 seems to be the play there for Giselle. But I think I can actually use an SA3. Well, speaking of, can we go here? SA3 here? Okay, it's not worth doing that. We're better just using the SA1 and 2 a lot there. Can we kill there with the SA1? Almost. I think I need the SA1 and then 3. If I want to try and use 2 strong attacks. But that's a very awkward room given that the enemies are kind of all spaced together. There's a lot of big ones too. Now, the SA1 for Giselle here is really good, because it does hit quite a few times. So with our increased statism and chance, very likely we are going to get the dominate. And if this enemy can hit himself, he can take himself down. 700k again on the first stage. That's only going to get higher. Only going to get higher. That's SA3 back out the way into the 2. Luckily for us, Toshiro does have a lot of attacks here. More so his SA2, to be fair. That's a very high hit count. Very high hit count. Look at that. First phase going well. Let's use the SA1. But I was preferably before the... We got the recharge from that box. But that's fine. Now again, with enemies like this, if you can, keep your distance. That way they don't lunge at you. And it'll split up. Like right now, to be fair, I kind of kited them very badly. Let's just use the 3. And then 1. Now, I can actually make Mugetsu better right now, because I do actually have him at 1.5. But I have kept the 100 million download summon ticket that we did get near the start of last month, right? Or like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I'm keeping it until the 10th Annie banner, because I want to see, you know, I would love to get Mugetsu 2.5 right now. However, what if I get him max transcended on the anniversary banner? And that's one of the main reasons, too, I don't recommend summoning on this Mugetsu Breakfast banner. Because, one, you should be able to pick him right now if you log in, if you haven't already used the ticket. But also, I'm hoping he does appear on the anniversary banner. Where at that point, you know, you don't know how deep you're going to go on the annie banner. You don't know how many duplicates of Mugetsu you're going to get. So, better just to save right now. Any orb, any summon ticket, just save them. Right. SA1. Kind of messed up my one there. So, I'm going to have to use it again. Let's go and use our EX. Because the EX does have a very high chance to inflict dominate. And then next stage, we're probably going to use our Soul Bomb. But yeah, millions of damage from each other. It's very good, to be fair, that Giselle has been a sword killer. Because you do want the enemies to have, like, good attacks. Because they damage each other, right? Let's dodge out the way. Make sure we're not taking any damage. Fortunately for us, the enemies are getting unfrozen at good times, where we can pretty much reliably keep our spiritual pressure boost. Wasted the SA2 there. I thought there was one enemy left alive. Unfortunate. But look at the difference now. We have 1 minute and 44 seconds to go. And we have not taken any damage thus far. So thus far, that's good, right? We're probably going to save the Soul Bomb for Giselle's stage. Because that can be the next poison enemy stage, right? Which gets us into 25. And luckily for Mugetsu, having to weaken him, but also... Oh! Okay, I messed up. Damn, I trapped myself. Do not do this. Man, that is terrible. I can't get out. Be careful catting the enemies then. You know what? Let's just Soul Bomb. Let's just get this stage out the way. Because Giselle's going to kill fast regardless. Alright. Our goal for this team right now is just to get into 25. But I was going to say Mugetsu is quite good for having 3 flash steps and also long stride. But just don't do what I did. Making the mistake there of taking damage once more. Alright. Use that match stream. 39 seconds. Can we do it? I don't think Giselle can kill fast enough. So we're probably going to do a little time skip at the end of this run. With us getting back into stage 20 once more, you know. Okay, SA1. To be fair, last stage with Toshiro, the poison enemy stage, I probably could have gone away using my EX attack. Since it looks like if we're kind of hard stuck 25, I don't need to use Toshiro again, you know. So we're going to get into 25, but we're not going to clear 25. So it's going to count as a stage 24 clearance. There we go. So yeah, had I not taken any damage there, we would have actually cleared relatively fast with Mugetsu. We're improving though, and we would have gotten the big stage 25, which personally is what I like to strive for if I possibly can. Because you can see here, right, stage 16 and 17, Toshiro and Giselle cleared pretty fast. Mugetsu though, taking damage did slow us down 18 seconds. But you know what? Next time we come back to stage 18, we're going to Soul Bomb. Because it looks like Giselle's going to clear her stage very fast anyway. Because again, the enemies themselves are dealing millions of damage to each other. Alright then, so we made it back into stage 18. So in this case, I think I want to use my Soul Bomb. So let's go ahead and do that. Apply the weakened defense just to clear this phase as fast as possible, right? Because my main goal is just to get into 25. Like, I'm fine with using the Soul Bomb here, right? Maybe, depending if we have, you know, during our max transcended Giselle run, we might want to save our Soul Bomb for Toshiro stage. If we get to Toshiro stage next time, in stage 26, I believe. Because again, Giselle should be fine, right? Didn't want to use my SA2 there, but we kind of had to since we had no strong attack available, but that's fine. That's SA1. So I figured a new rotation for this particular Mugetsu in our next stage. So we'll try that and see how that does work. If we can potentially pull it off now, it's relatively easy, but it feels a bit risky. You'll see what I mean when we get to Mugetsu. Okay, unfortunately, made a little mistake there. We can potentially recover from that, though. Because the SA1 should be enough here to take down this wave, right? Almost, just about. But the idea is that we're not going to use this character again. So with Mugetsu, what we can do is flash step down here. They pretty much always miss, but for some reason, for this time, I actually missed. But that is how you're able to clear that room in just 2 strong attacks. So not too bad, right? We're going to use our 2 and 3 and then go hit SA1. That should hopefully inflict. Damn, we didn't get the status proc. It should be fine, though. The enemies themselves are going to do enough damage. Like, are they doing 500k per hit at this point? 500k? 5 million? Is it 5 mil? I don't know. It's a lot of damage, though. So there you go. With Giselle, it's like... Maybe that's why Giselle keeps becoming a sword killer. One for GQ as well, but like... The enemies that you come against, the poison enemies in Limit Breaker, the Soribas in particular, right? those enemies right there, they just do a lot of damage to themselves, but also to us too. But obviously, when you inflict Dominate, it's just millions of damage per hit, and it's really good AoE too, because it's hitting everyone. So, you know, if anything, they're taking like 2+ million damage per tick, because they're damaging themselves and also their allies, or now enemies, I guess. So, stage 25, relatively happy with that, in all honesty. That's what I want to go for. And in this case, it's only using a 1-5 team. If we go ahead and max transcend Giselle once more, will it honestly even make that much of a difference? In all honesty, probably not, because we're already clearing Giselle's stages fast as is. Giselle's one of those characters, to be fair. Not like she's like super broken. There are some characters, in my opinion, that I just think aren't worth duping out because they're that good. Maybe 9 Fanny Kenny, 1000-Year Blood Wolf, 4-Bring Ichigo. Giselle's kind of up there with me because thus far from me, like having a 2-5 or max transcendence, the difference isn't even that big, to be fair. If anything, your damage just becomes a tad bit more reliable, but her highs are already super high as is. So let's see how a max transcended Giselle does perform. Again, we're probably not going to notice that much of a difference. We would see a bigger difference if we got a duplicate of Mugetsu and also Toshiro. With that, we might be able to stretch into stage 30 plus, right? Because remember, once you get past like stage 27, that's when you get into the easy stages once more, the non-poised enemies. And that's when it becomes a very easy not sub 30, but stage 30 clearance, you know? Getting past stage like 35 is where it becomes a bit of an issue. And that's where you're most likely going to need 3 really good characters chosen, essentially, by Caleb. But also 3 really good characters duped out. Maybe max transcended. So again, I never take damage here, but you can see here, like, 3 strong attacks was enough to take down those poised enemies. Going here, we're going to save our EX skill. Last time I used it on stage 18. We will save it for stage 26, I think, 25. There's 2 enemies. I was going to use my Nat String, but don't want to take any risk there. SA1. So for this stage, you really want to position yourself well to make sure you hit everyone. But you don't want to, you know, go around the rocks like I've been doing and taking unnecessary damage. And we want to save that SA3. That's very good. So good rotation thus far. SA2 is able to take out both those waves there. Nice. SA1's ready to take down both of these waves. Lovely. And remember, when you have a character with like a beam attack, you do want to, not a great run there. You do want to position yourself to use it before you get close to them in a way. Because when you get close, when there's a bunch of enemies, especially big enemies, they start to split apart. So using a beam far ahead like now, right? If we got close, those enemies will start like moving and separating from each other. So I'd love to do my SA3 strat here, but I don't think we can do it since we have no strong attack ready. So we just can rely on the SA1 and 2, which is fine. So with Giselle, as long as we have the SA1, we'll use that SA1, hold on. Not need to use the EX just yet, but we could probably get away using the EX. Maybe not, to be fair, because we're going to clear so fast. Yeah, so using the EX skill wouldn't have been the right call there, but that's fine. SA3 takes down those. SA2 hopefully gets all of everyone. Lovely. Get our extra bit of damaging with our normal attacks. Despite us not being an ad character, we still do some pretty good damage there, you know? Now, I kind of want someone to unfreeze real quick, so we can get our Sport Pressure boost back. Unfortunately, one enemy lunged away, but one strong attack takes him down. Gonna have to use the SA3 again. We're gonna save our summon for Toshiro stage. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm a bit indecisive right now, but we'll see. We're good on time, so we'll just keep it going. And we have the weakening too. We just gotta make sure we don't take any damage. Okay, kind of position my... Are they all trapped? I mean, we'll take it. I guess that's a good position to put those characters. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Here we go. Make sure we don't take any damage. We had no strong attack ready. That could have been a very bad run. Not our greatest first wave. Back up. I need to slow down a bit. I'm getting too ahead of myself. Right now. So this is what I mean, right? Like, if I used my SA1 a lot earlier, we would have hit all those enemies there. Like that too, for example. You want to use your beams way ahead of time. So that's how we can clear this room with 2 strong attacks, actually. So that's good to know. Definitely going to use our SA3 here. SA1. Kind of have to use the 2 there. Okay, good. SA3. We're not going to need to use Mugetsu again, so that's fine. Alright, here we go. Push this enemy back. Then use our 3. Into the 2. Might as well use our EX. 1 million damage there. Into the 1. Pretty good, but can Toshiro clear? Again, you don't know as much of a difference of a Max Transcendent Giselle because we're clearing faster anyway. I spoke super fast there, by the way. Oi, hold on. I'm messing up. Super tight on time here. Let's Soul Bomb, EX. SA2, get all the attacks in that we can. Maybe I could have done that final room a tad bit different, but I think 27 or a 26 current record is possible for us. Because look how close we were there. Maybe if I didn't ruin that first, like, 2 waves there, we actually could have gotten a tad bit further. But main thing this show is, like, Giselle at 1-5 is perfectly fine for Limit Breaker. If you want to make bigger difference on your clearance score, if you want to get as far as you possibly can, duplicates of Toshiro and especially Mugetsu are going to be the big important ones. Because Giselle, no matter what, is clearing fast. Like, obviously, we do save time using Giselle at max transcendence, but the time is not even that big of a deal because a lot of the damage is coming from the enemies themselves. But again, duplicate of Toshiro or Mugetsu would be a lot better. Had I gotten both Toshiro and Mugetsu 2-5, which I technically can summon for right now, but we're not going to go ahead and do that. Both of those characters should be available hopefully during the anniversary part 1 and 2 banner, and I'd much rather try and get them there than summon for just them right now. But let's go ahead and clear all the rewards. Love Reach. 600,000 transcendence points, 50 spirituals, and remember we already had a previous Limit Breaker quest this month, so that's over 100 orbs this month and close to 1 million transcendence points if you were able to get all the rewards possible. So right now I'm sitting on close to 3,300 orbs, pretty good, and we have 2.2 million transcendence points, which is also pretty good, especially just in time for the anniversary. When it comes to Mu sources, I am saving more so the rainbows, to be fair. Right now, I'm really not sure who I'm going to use it on. Maybe part 1 Annie, because yes, they're premium, but I always save my tickets all year round, so I don't really get a chance to summon for Annie characters when they're still technically new from summon tickets. But I also do, if I sort by favorite, I do want to keep up the trend of max transcending every anniversary character, at least the main 2 headliners. I do want to eventually max transcend all the anniversary remakes. So, the most recent Full Hollow, the most recent Mugetsu as well. But right now, for 2nd to 9th Annie, all Annie characters are max transcended. So that's why I'm saving my special move sources, but most importantly, transcendence points for the actual 10th anniversary. Because if the characters are cool, they're good, and even though they're premium, I might be more inclined to use move sources on them. Because the next chance I'm going to get them at max transcendence will likely be a year later, during the 11th Annie, I guess. Because like I said, right, when it comes to summon tickets, I do save these all year round. To be fair, I don't always do that. I used to use some golden tickets every now and then, and sometimes I might throw 100, but more often than not, I've pretty much been just saving my tickets all year round, right? Especially the exclusive summon tickets. I pretty much start saving these from the 9th Annie, so what this also does mean, despite me being on 2 million transcendence points right now, we're also going to have millions after we use all these summon tickets, which we will be doing during the 10th anniversary. And my goal right now is to try and get 5,000 summon tickets, at least brace those summon tickets, 500 4 to 5-star. We have all these summon tickets here, 17 6-star, 10 summon medals. Again, we are saving this 100 million summon ticket too. Even though there are characters I can pick up that will guarantee me orbs, you never know who's going to be in the anniversary banner, so I do want to save that. Again, we have all of these too, and I'm also slowly working up towards this summon ticket in the medal exchange shop to potentially get a good duplicate as well. So a lot of saving overall when it comes to summon tickets, transcendence points, and also special move sources just in time for the 10th Annie. So I'll gladly take any more transcendence points that I can get. But with that said, that's the video for today, going over the 2nd Limit Breaker quest that we did get this month. I would love for this to be a monthly return. Like every month we get a beginner one and then a more difficult veteran Limit Breaker quest, I guess you could call it. But I understand why they don't do it. More so to make big celebrations feel a tad bit better as you are getting more rewards, right? But if this could potentially become normal in the future, I also wouldn't say no to it. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.